Hi, Bob the Cigar Guy here, and I am whooped. I am. I've been working hard on this vacation. I have. And the title of this video, it's not clickbait. It's matter of fact, and it's not going to be all high and mighty either. But being broke has got its benefits, and even more. If I was going to make the title longer, which they say don't make the title longer, I'd say growing up broke has its privileges. It does, flat out. Right? I mean, yeah, being rich, I bet, has lots of privileges too. I bet lots of doors are open and lots of opportunities happen. But there's a time in your life, if you carry to that later stage in life. Oh my God, that's so good. I've been jonesing the cigar something fierce. Oh, it's me, Rita Black. You ever stared at that band in a dimly lit room? It's kind of weird, right? There is an embellishment, there is an emblazonment, there is a recess, whatever, in the black that has like this paisley kind of thing going on. This little pattern. You really don't see it unless you're in a contrasting light where it's bright and dark, where you can kind of see it sheen off of there. I highly recommend you get you one, look at it, and then fire it up and burn it down, because we're not here to keep cigars. We're here to smoke cigars. But so I have been, well, a joist or two, comes to find out it's three, in the bathroom downstairs. Was broke. Come to find out, there was major water damage way before we bought the house. I had some contractors come out. I mean, it's been going for a long time. Because I'm like, man, that's going to be expensive. We'll just keep going. Just don't step in that area because it's getting kind of squishy. But it got really, really bad. It started to really worry me. I was afraid I was going to fall through the floor. Tile was bad. I mean, it was bad. And so, First lady, being the first lady who's great at this, I'm not. She called out some contractors. Had contractors come out and look at it. They crawled up under the house and they generated a real nice estimate. $8,000. $8,000 to fix the problems under the house, the joists, to replace the rotted part of the floor that would give it out, and to put tile back down on the floor. $8,000. Pull out the commode, pull out the sink, whatever it is, and put those back in. No new ones, no nothing. $8,000 plus. There's a little bit more. And I'm like, $8,000? You got to be kidding me. This is where broke has its benefits, has its privileges. Yeah. So the car mill shut down for a couple weeks for New Year's, Christmas, and just to reboot. And the first lady and Gracie and Gracie's two kids, my two grandkids, Macy and Caden, they went to Disney for a week. I'm like, perfect, I get in there, I rip out the toilet, I'll rip out the sinks, I rip out the floor, fix the joist, one, and just replace a little piece of plywood, which I thought was going to be 4 foot by 4 foot. 3 joists down, one under the doorway in the wall, gas lines, water lines, sewer lines, power lines, some old security lines all over the place. I cut them out because we ain't got that anymore. It ain't even a thing anymore. Little dots on the top of the... Anyway, it never worked. And they're all over the place, and I cut them out. All of that. Whole floor from wall to walls. I'd rip the whole thing out. I ain't never done it before. I ain't never done none of this before. Not an air and lick. What I thought was going to be 5 days of putting in 4 or 5 hours and putting it all back together. Sarah wants to go with that LVLP waterproof floating wood floor kind of stuff, and you know, I was gonna paint it up and get it did, and man, I'd be a hero, right? I could sit on my butt for a while because I saved us $8,000 and I did it easy. It wasn't that big of a thing. Like I said, every stitch of plywood had to come out. 3 joists had to be sistered up and braced up and those. And then whenever they put the house in, the crawl space is only about 2.5 feet tall. Where they dug out things and leveled the footers or whatever up under the house, they left the piles of dirt. And so here I am trying to crawl around on this dirt where all of a sudden it goes from 2.5 feet down to 8 inches. So I'm having to get up on there with a little shovel, digging like I'm excavating King Tut's tomb. Now, if I was sitting where you were, I was listening to what I was saying, I would say, that don't sound like being broke is a good thing. It's a benefit. Because you could have paid the $8,000. They'd have come in with a crew with all the specific tools and everything else, and they do it every day, so they would have just knocked it out in 3-4 days. You would have been done. You would have been laying up under that house for 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, in the nasty fiberglass. Ugh. Cold, dirty, muddy. Not muddy, cold, dirty. Dealing with gas lines, freaking out about that. Almost busting the sewer drain, the drain up under the house because you dropped a piece of wood on it. But if I had the $8,000, if I was loaded, I would have paid somebody to do it. I'm not saying I'm soup kitchen broke, but I'm not, let's throw some money at it like that. I'm like, I'm going to take care of it myself. I got to buy a couple tools. Love that. But being broke gave me a story. When you get out to be 75, 80 years old, if you make it that far, you don't do much more. You don't make many stories. You don't do things, most people. So you sit and chat about yourself. And if you're in a rest home, and I've worked in retirement centers, you know, you sit around, you tell stories. And there's always a couple people that don't have any stories to tell. When you're rich, my opinion, your stories are limited to things that are achievable by people. Yes, I have a yacht, and we went to Umagudi and Babaswana with this superstar and that superstar. Yeah, okay, great. Wow. You're sitting in a wheelchair right now eating mushed peas. But when you broke, you talk stories about crawling up under a house, about almost breaking your arm trying to flip a dang joist up in there because the floor had fallen, had sagged, and you're up under there just prying and screaming and passing gas, and you're up under there because of you straining. Don't ask me how I know. You're sitting in the cloud of. But that's a good story. You ain't got nothing else you can do. And so being broke gives you good stories. At the end of the day, you ain't got stories. You ain't got much. Now, if you're rich, you may not be in a retirement community, but you're going to be talking to your caretakers. And I want to have stories to tell. Boy, howdy, this is a good story. I'm not even done with it yet. I got the hardest part done. I spent 6.5 hours a day working on one joist, and that joker lifted up the floor, put the wall back where it belongs. I mean, I was proud of myself. I am, actually. Surprise. I didn't think I could do it. There's a lot of head scratching, butt scratching, switching hands. But I could tell 10 stories off of that time I've already done. And I still got 2 joists to put back together. Not a big deal. And now, I got to put floor down, then I got to put linoleum down, then I got to paint everything, and then I got to put the toilet and the sink in and the vanity. But it doesn't scare me no more. It petrified me at one point, but now I'm like, psh, you hit me with that, and I hit you back, and I won. So now. But growing up broke? Oh. Growing up broke, either you went without or you figured it out. Learned how to fix a giant car. Ended up owning a hot rod and custom shop. Going to mechanic school, getting a degree in that, getting a degree in auto body, getting a degree in welding, getting a degree in machining. Because I was broke and I couldn't afford anybody to do it. So I did it myself. Home repairs, built a shop. Me, Chief, and the rest of the family built a shop. The decks out there, the huge decks out there, we built that. Why? Because we broke. Because I couldn't pay somebody to build these things. So I got to build it myself or do without. And in doing that, I have amassed a lot of knowledge and a lot of stories. So, if you're going through life rich, hey, pinch your brother off something, would you? But if you're going through life a little struggling, where you're like, man, I just got to, every time I turn around, I got to fix something, or I got to make something, or I got to this something, or that something. Consider yourself blessed, because there will come a day when you'll have stories and nobody else will. And people will still want to come and hang out with you. Not because of the money you got, not because of the this and the that, but because you're interesting and you've lived a life worth living. Bruce Lee said, don't pray for weak or whatever, pray for stronger shoulders. I've kind of twisted that a little bit to say, don't pray for an easy life, pray for, what was it? Pray for interesting. Stories, no, what was it? No stories come from no good stories come from easy life. Nobody this is it. God, dog it, boy, I've been working hard. Nobody wants to listen to stories from somebody who had an easy life. And that's it. So, I'm going to smoke my cigar. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to shoot our podcast. I'm going to edit that. I'll probably do some more videos just so I can get ahead a little bit, because I'm going back to work and I got more stuff to do in that bathroom. So I got to capitalize on my time. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great life, and I hope you have challenges that challenge you, but don't wear you down. Now, I will tell you, I'll be transparent. I did not want to tackle that floor. Guy said, $8,000 plus. And Sarah said, First Lady, she said, you could do that. She knows how to get me. Knowing I don't know how to do it, but she knows I'll wear myself out trying. And I knew she was doing that to me, but I just did it. I got no defense when it comes to the First Lady. That's a fact. But I had a safety net. I knew that if I needed to, I got in there and I ripped it up, and I tore it up, and then I tore up a joist, and then I got to a point to where I couldn't do no more. I knew that I took that $8,000 bill and took it down to maybe $4,000, and I could figure out how to get the money to pay for that. So I did have a safety net. It's not like I was stuck on the side of the road. So that's it. I'll see you later. Man, I love you. I really do. I hope you have a great day. I hope you do. That's the truth. See you later. Later, Tater. Be exciting.